Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? Who says that you can't do that type of stuff? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Who says you can't? Why? I get it that you need to stick to one, like, your thing, and people need to know you for that. But like, spreading yourself too thin doesn't really make that much sense to me. If you're good at something, no matter what other thing it is, just fucking do it. You know?
Right. You've got the energy. You might as well put
Just
it
do
out.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. So how did you? Because I've been trying to figure out how you got put together, like, musically, like inspirations and stuff. I saw metal bands. Obviously, you're rapping. Where, like, your sound to me, it doesn't. I don't know how to describe it because it doesn't sound old, and I don't mean this the wrong way, but a lot of the vocals remind me of stuff from like new metal era almost.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that like what? How did you end up making this music?
Oh man, I think like it's such a long story that I guess it's like how I started listening to music and how it changed. And when I was a kid, my father would come home every Friday with a cassette, and that was like Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan. It was like a lot of bluesy shit, but it was also like Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Jeff Buckley was a huge one.
All right.
And so he was putting me on to like all this really cool music at a very young age. And then I got a little, I got into like the early teens, like 13, 14, and I was really into the hardcore scene. I was into like Vision of Disorder, and then Slipknot came around. Slipknot was the first show I ever went to.
Really?
Yeah, I was 13. Local Bazooka, WAAF.
Yeah.
Like Green Hill Park in Worcester or something like that, I think. And so that was huge during that time. I was also a skateboarder, and we were all just grungy ass little fucking shithead skateboarder kids. You know?
Yeah.
And we were listening to all that shit. I mean, we listened to Korn, we listened to Limp Bizkit, we listened to all that shit. I had a time where I was into it, but the other stuff spoke to me a little more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it was popular, and you're a young, easily influenced kid. I mean, that was just part of the scene, especially in the suburbs.
Yeah.
At that time, you know what I mean? It's just kind of what was happening, you know what I mean? So I don't think I necessarily carry anything new metal consciously into my music now.
I almost didn't even say that because I didn't want to like.
I don't take it as a wrong way.
But I've been trying to put my finger on what your voice reminds me of.
I think it's more Scott Weiland.
Is it Scott Weiland?
I think it is.
All right. Rest in peace. That was.
Me and my fiance were just watching videos of him last night, man. He was fucking amazing.
Did you ever see him live?
No, I had the chance to see him live at the end of his career, and I chose not to. Because some of the fucking shows are just like very sad.
Yeah, he was bombing a lot of them.
I want to see him like that. He was my number one hero growing up. Him, all day.
Yeah?
Stone Temple Pilots are my number one favorite band of all time. So I think I like more modeled my shit after that, you know what I mean? But I didn't really get into the hip hop side of things. During that time of Slipknot and everything, Wu-Tang and Illmatic and all that shit was hitting me at the same time. And I started rapping because there was a skateboarder kid that gave me a CD of some kid that was rapping in a couple towns over or something. And his rap name was Jesus with 2 Z's. And I fucking loved it though.
Yeah.
It was like metal, dark lyrics, but he was rapping. And this is before I knew about anything really rap, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't know about like horrorcore. I had no clue what any of that was. And like he had like he was like quoting Misfit lines in it, like "Mummy, can I go out and kill tonight?" was one of his lines and shit. I fucking fell in love with it, and I started trying to rap, and I could just do it, and it was fucking fun.
Yep.
And I always loved grooves, you know, and hip hop was such a groove, you know, just something that made you want to move. Bass and drums together, just like, you know.
Yeah.
Verses with just bass and drums. I love rock and roll like that, even still.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and I always tried to sing. I sucked at it for a long time.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Really?
Sucked. I mean, everyone does when you first start,
yeah.
You know? The thing that taught me to sing was, I never was a huge Sublime fan, but I like some songs.
Yeah.
And the Summertime, the one line where he goes, on lockdown like a penitentiary.
Yeah.
I sang that line over and over and over until I could sing it in a, at least a decent way.
Yeah.
And then that became like my baseline, kind of like where I could, run off of. But back then I would, you had regular computers, like regular old ass computers, and they had a 30-second sound recorder that came with every fucking computer on the desktop.
All right.
But you could only record 30 seconds. So I was like, how do I figure this out? So I would record 30 seconds of silence, and then I would copy and paste it, copy and paste it, copy and paste it. And then I would get like 4 minutes inside of this little thing, but it was like staticky. And then I stole a microphone from a computer class, and then that's how I started figuring out how to sing and just record and rap into it and be able to listen back to myself and then critique myself and shit. And that was like way back.
Yeah. That's. I think I can picture what you're talking about.
It's like the little box.
Yeah.
It's called sound recorder.
Yeah, 30.
That's
the
little
awesome.
red dot and the play. And
I know what you're talking about. Oh man, that's wild. So Sublime taught you to sing. That's great. Brad Noel, another one. A lot of your musical, I guess, I don't want to say heroes, but influences. A lot of them struggled with similar demons that it seems like you did.
I don't know if I think that's just coincidence maybe, or it's a testament to like overly artistic mind just ends up fucking, I don't know. I think it's all escape.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all versions of escaping. Every time you're in the studio, I forget about everything. And I only exist right there. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. So I think when you don't understand yet that if I do this drug, it can possibly turn into a really bad problem and something that I become addicted to and need every day. So when you do it, every time you do that drug, you just exist right there. It's the only, you're in the moment, and it's all moment stuff, and nothing else exists.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more getting addicted to that than it actually is getting, because, addiction can be anything, it doesn't have to be drugs and alcohol.
Yeah. Do you meditate?
I try to.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, I don't always fucking...
It's hard.
Fuck.
But it's the same idea, like, how do I get right here and nowhere else?
I think the only times I do it is like music, performing, studio.
Yeah.
And painting and shit, graffiti.
Oh, did you graph too?
Yeah.
Alright. So, did you know you were gonna... So I listened to... So your first album on streaming, at least, is the EAD.
Yeah, old.
Album, yeah. But so you're on that, and you're with guys like Tame One, Reef, Copy, like dudes who were like rapping.
Yeah.
And then now you've come sort of full circle where you're still rapping, but you've become this entirely other thing. Like, what were your goals when you started with it? Were you on some, I want to be the best rapper, or were you...
I think on EAD, man, I was so young, and I was hell-bent on like a middle finger. Like, I had this like really fucking arrogant asshole fucking mindset at the time, and it wasn't intentionally trying to be a dick. I just had a crew of friends that were all fucking nuts, and it was all about show up and be as wild as possible. It was what it was. So it just fucking bled over into the music, and then I was getting like blowback from the scene. So certain people weren't accepting me, and who the fuck is this? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump on that even more and say like, okay, like fuck you, you know what I mean?
Use both fingers.
So I think, but that like kind of bit me in the ass though, because it's weird. You listen to that album and there's a lot of big fuck you asshole songs, but then there's songs like Off Balance where I'm saying lines like, as we walk the string, God forgot to mention the world is throwing rocks and your conscience ain't your friend no more. I'm also saying really deep shit, which is more me.
Yeah.
But I was young and didn't know the difference, and like got caught up in like some lifestyle shit,
Yeah.
Cause that album was in stores. We had a distribution deal.
Really?
Yeah. I was 20 and it was fucking, it was a cool moment.
Yeah.
But I got too caught up in, the arrogant fucking attitude side of shit.
Yeah.
Still alright album though.
Hey, as long as you're happy with it. And,
I mean, it is what it is. I don't love it.
Yeah.
But it's cool for people to be able to look at and watch